I am Sesh-Amun, son of the archives, keeper of the hidden scrolls, and servant to kings whose names now whisper only in the dust. For 1,000 years, my hands have guarded stories never meant to stand in the light. Intrigues behind gold masks, pacts sealed in the shadows of temples, and decisions that forged dynasties, or drowned them in the river of time. Today, I open one of those doors for you, not to glorify, but to remember. For the truth of Egypt does not live in its monuments, but in what was buried behind them. Come closer, wanderer. The sands are shifting, and the secrets of the pharaohs do not wait. The desert never forgets. The desert keeps its secrets. For thousands of years, beneath dunes that shift like restless spirits, beneath stone that has outlived empires and memories, Egypt watched kings rise and fall like sparks in an endless night. To the world, this land appears eternal. Golden sands, sacred temples, pharaohs carved in granite, unchangeable, immortal, divine. But behind this perfection lies a truth the desert never forgot. Power in Egypt was never simple, never pure, never stable. It was a dance of shadows, a fragile ritual maintained by myths, blood, and silence. Today, we lift the veil from the oldest political machine ever built. A kingdom where kings ruled as gods, yet died as men. Where priests shaped nations, mothers shaped dynasties, and assassins shaped history. These are the secrets carved not in stone, but in fear. Welcome to the hidden politics of ancient Egypt. Chapter 1. The Divine Illusion. Before Egypt became an empire, before pyramids and colossal statues, there was only a fragile idea. A human king cannot rule thousands unless people believe he is more than human. So the Egyptians created the greatest political illusion in history. They made their ruler a god. Not metaphorically, literally. The pharaoh was Horus, the falcon god, made flesh. When he died, he became Osiris, lord of the underworld. His heir became the new Horus, a divine cycle, elegant, absolute, unbreakable. This wasn't religion, it was strategy. Religion gave the throne legitimacy. Ceremony gave it order. Architecture gave it permanence. Every wall painted, every statue placed, every ritual performed was part of a carefully designed political system. Temples were propaganda. Myths were statecraft. Divinity was the crown's armor. But the illusion came at a price. A god cannot show weakness. A god cannot bleed. A god cannot doubt. So the king's true life, his fears, mistakes, desires, was buried behind masks, rituals, and endless ceremony. The divine pharaoh was untouchable, yet the man beneath was trapped. And in that contradiction, the first cracks formed. Chapter 2. The Harem Conspiracies. Behind palace walls, far from the sunlight of the temples, lay the most dangerous place in Egypt, the royal harem. Not a chamber of pleasure, but a battlefield of politics. Dozens of royal women, concubines, advisors, servants, and the children of the king lived here, isolated from the world, yet positioned at the beating heart of the dynasty. Each woman was backed by her own faction, noble houses, foreign alliances, priestly networks. Each child was a potential heir. Each servant could be a spy. Behind veils and perfumed curtains, whispers were weapons. Dreams of power were sharpened into daggers, and one day, the harem became the stage for one of the greatest political conspiracies in ancient history, the plot to kill Pharaoh Ramses III. It began with a mother, Tiye, a secondary wife whose son, Pentawa, had little chance of becoming king, unless she changed the rules. Messages were smuggled through servants, spells and poisons were prepared, officials were bribed, even members of the palace guard were turned, and deep within the harem's shadows, a coup was born, a plot to end a god's life. When the day came, chaos erupted. The conspirators attacked the king, attempting to seize the throne for Prince Pentawa. But the coup failed. The plotters were captured, tried, tortured, and erased from memory. Yet the truth survived in papyrus records. A pharaoh died by assassination, killed not by enemies, but by his own household. The Harem, a world unseen by the people, had shaken the throne, and Egypt learned a lesson it tried to forget. Even a god can die in the dark. Chapter 3. The Priests of Amun. If pharaohs were divine, the priests were the ones who kept that divinity alive. None were more powerful than the priests of Amun. Their temple in Thebes was larger than palaces, richer than kingdoms, older than dynasties. They collected taxes, controlled farmland, owned ships, slaves, grain, gold. They kept the nation's memory, the archives, rituals, myths, and laws. In time, the priests controlled a third of all Egypt's wealth, a kingdom within the kingdom, a power behind the throne. Their rituals crowned kings, their words validated wars, their silence could doom a dynasty. And sometimes, they didn't support the king at all. During the late New Kingdom, as pharaohs weakened through internal struggle, the priests of Amun stepped into the vacuum. They raised their own armies, collected their own tribute, and finally, they ruled Upper Egypt outright. For decades, Egypt had two kings, the pharaoh in the north and the high priest in the south. The illusion of divine monarchy cracked, the sands shifted, and the priests became the unseen rulers of half the empire. A silent takeover, no battles needed, just faith and wealth. Chapter 4. The Murdered Kings. For all the ceremony, faith, and stone, pharaohs were mortal, and mortals can be removed. Some kings died in battle, some of illness, but many died by human hands. Amenemhat I, stabbed in the dark by members of his own court. Tutankhamun, possibly struck on the head, or poisoned, or eliminated to erase the heresy of his father. Akhenaten, the heretic king, whose entire legacy was wiped, whose death remains a mystery lost in silence. But none were as brutal, as documented, as the killing of Ramses III. A murder so violent his mummy still bears the wound, a deep cut across his throat, swift and final. It is one of the few moments where archaeology, papyrus, and legend all agree. A god-king was slaughtered like any other man. Murder in the palace was not an accident. It was a political tool. When power is divine, stealing it becomes a sacred crime. And Egypt committed it again and again. Chapter 5. The Memory Wars. Egypt had one last, terrifying secret. You could erase a king without killing him. How? By destroying his name. To the Egyptians, memory was immortality. To erase someone's name from stone, from temples, statues, scrolls, was to kill them in the afterlife. It was called damnatio memoriae, the condemnation of memory. Hatshepsut, the female pharaoh who ruled like a king, had her images smashed, her statues shattered, her name chiseled into dust. Akhenaten, the revolutionary king who broke the gods, was erased so completely that historians rediscovered him only in the 1800s. Even ordinary nobles could be erased if they crossed the wrong patron. The memory wars were Egypt's final political weapon, history itself. He who controlled the past controlled the future, and in the end, the struggle to rewrite the past tore the present apart. The Empire of Sand. Egypt endured for 3,000 years, longer than any empire in human history. But it did not endure because it was strong. It endured because it knew how to hide its weaknesses behind stone, ceremony, and myth. When the illusions failed, when priests grew stronger than kings, when harems turned into war rooms, when gods became masks for human ambition, the desert silently reclaimed what was left. Egypt was not conquered in a day. It unraveled from within. and the secrets that once protected the throne became the cracks that destroyed it. Today, the temples lie broken. The kings sleep in glass cases. The priests are dust. The conspirators are forgotten. But the desert remembers. It always does. And in its silence lies a warning. Wherever power hides behind divinity, wherever rulers claim sacred authority, wherever history is rewritten to protect the powerful, Egypt's shadow returns, because in the end, no empire, not even one built for gods, can escape the politics of men. Thus, the circle of revelation closes for today. A tale of gold, blood, and quiet agreements forged long before the world knew its own name. The story I unveiled to you was only one among many. A single vein in the vast body of Egypt, fed by power, sacrifice, and the silent shadows that shaped empires. I have guarded these truths. I have carried their scars. And now you have glimpsed behind the veil that even kings rarely dared to lift. If you wish for more veils to fall, if you wish to descend deeper into the chambers where forgotten names sleep, where truth lies sealed in stone and silence, then leave us a sign of your presence. Not silver, not gemstone, but the simplest offering a traveler can give a keeper of secrets. Your voice, a like, a comment, a subscription. For you, just a moment. For us, the key that lets us unearth the next secret from the sands, the spark that lights the torches by which we bring hidden truths into the open. I thank you, wanderer. Until we meet again, beneath pillars older than memory, where the gods still listen and history never sleeps.